You ever watch a team and feel the air change, not because of one big play, but because a dozen small things all decide to fold the same way? That's Cleveland right now. Kevin Stefanski, he answered a question the way coaches always try to dodge it, with a tiny crack of possibility. I'm not sure if that's what we're doing. And that one sentence handed the city another week of wondering whether Deshaun Watson's long road back is about to change everything or nothing at all. Sigh. The practical reality is blunt. The Browns aren't opening Watson's 21-day practice window this week. The team will give the rehab more time before forcing a decision that either activates him or ends his season. That choice buys medical prudence, roster flexibility, and, yes, more noise. Fans who want immediate drama see delay as evasion. The front office sees it as risk management. Both views are defensible. Yahoo Tetao. Let's put the scoreboard on the table. Dillon Gabriel started Sunday and finished 17 of 32 for 167 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 27-20 loss to the Jets. Those box score numbers don't tell the whole story. They hide the sacks, the pressure, the late-game mistakes, but they also explain why the crowd keeps chanting for Shedeur Sanders. Flashes without consistent execution make for a very loud fan base. BeaconJournal.com. What really sank the Browns that day wasn't one miserable drive. It was special teams doing something historically bad. New York took advantage of 2 returns in a single quarter, a 99-yard kickoff by Kenny Nwangwu and a 74-yard punt by Isaiah Williams. And suddenly the game's grammar changed. Plays that would normally be about play calling and timing turned into a test of field position triage. When special teams gives up 2 scores like that, it's not a fluke. It's a structural failure that infects strategy, confidence, and clock management. Reuters. So what's the story here? There are 3 overlapping crises: medical uncertainty around Watson, developmental doubt with Gabriel, and operational collapse in special teams. Each feeds the other. You delay Watson and the quarterback controversy simmers. You stick with Gabriel and the fans grumble for Shedeur. You lose on special teams and the odds shrink for anyone to find rhythm. It's a triangle with no comfortable center. Let's zoom in on the quarterback choices because that's the theater everyone's watching. There are reasons Stefanski appears cautious. Watson's comeback from 2 Achilles surgeries in a short span is unprecedented in its uncertainty. Once you open that 21-day window, you start a legal and mechanical countdown that forces action. If Watson's body isn't truly ready, right, rushing him back does long-term damage to a $230 million contract and to the player himself. That's the ledger the front office is looking at when it steps on the brakes. Yahoo Tetao. On the other hand, the Browns have 2 rookies under contract who are trying to become answers, not just auditioning for headlines. Gabriel's mobility and flashes give the roster something to build on, but his 5 starts have been a mixed bag. The protection around him has been inconsistent, and that makes raw evaluation hard. Shedeur Sanders, meanwhile, carries buzz and pedigree. He's the carrot fans want. But dropping a raw rookie into a unit that can't stop returns, can't protect the passer, and makes late-game mental errors is often a fast track to burning confidence, not producing clarity. Here's a practical truth coaches live by. Swapping quarterbacks won't fix structural defects. If you're hearing sacks, missed blocks, and busted special teams assignments, the problem is larger than who's under center. A new starter will sometimes paper over those problems at first, but the rot comes back when the opponent can exploit the same weaknesses. The Browns can't pin the season on a change of faces. They need to fix fundamentals first. That's ugly, slow work, and it's the opposite of the cinematic solution fans crave. So, what should Cleveland do tomorrow morning on the practice field? First, clean up special teams. Full stop. Kickoff lanes, wedge discipline containment, tackling in space. Those are low glamour drills with high impact. Fixing that will stop opponents from turning every 2-minute swing into a cathedral of momentum. Second, re-scheme protection and simplify reads. If Gabriel needs quicker windows and the line needs help, call plays that get the ball out, use rollouts, use man protect in critical down and distance moments. Third, controlled reps for Shedeur. Give him scripted 2-minute drives or designed rollouts so the coaches can evaluate him without handing him a nuclear audition. Measured exposure beats panic benching. There's also a messaging problem. Stefanski's careful answer buys time, but time without progress becomes permission for the rumor mill to run wild. The team can avoid the pressure cooker by being specific in tiny ways, show the adjustments being practiced, publicly commit to a measurable special teams improvement, and give fans a clear timeline for when an internal quarterback review will be complete. Transparency doesn't solve pain, but it reduces suspicion. Now for the emotional ledger. Players feel these decisions in the locker room. A young QB who hears the crowd calling for his bench will play tighter. A veteran who's rehabbing hears the tick of the practice window like a metronome for judgment. Coaches have to manage two psyches and an entire fan base at the same time. That's a delicate job, harder than crafting a game plan because it's human work and humans don't execute on demand. There's a narrow path forward that won't make everyone happy, but will make the most sense. Clean the controllables and then reassess in public. Fix the special teams fundamentals this week and show measurable improvement. Simplify the offense to protect the young quarterbacks and let Gabriel work within a reduced risk structure. Give Shedeur limited, meaningful reps so evaluators can separate hype from habit. Keep Watson's window closed until medical certainty is clear, and then make the call with clinical discipline, not with a stadium chant as a tiebreaker. If that sounds cold, remember what success looks like. Fewer big plays allowed on returns, fewer sacks, and a quarterback who makes repeatable, teachable plays under pressure. Those things are not sexy, but they're how you turn a 2-7 record into something you can build on. The alternative, flip the starter because the timeline and the noise demand it, is often the short path to chaos. Here's the image to send home with you. An early morning practice field in Berea, special teams lined up 10 times in a row, coaches yelling fundamentals until the players stop flinching, a quarterback taking the same snap a dozen times until the pocket reads like muscle memory. That is the work that replaces chatter with results. In the end, Stefanski's thin crack of uncertainty changed one thing. It forced the conversation into daylight. The actual test will be whether the Browns use the extra time wisely. Fans want a miracle. The team needs discipline. If Cleveland can turn patience into progress, not theater, they'll have a real answer to the question nobody can stop asking. Who will they trust with their future?